What's up, everybody, and welcome to the BreakZone. My name is JT.
And I'm Laurent.
And we're coming at you live here from Boston, Massachusetts, covering Square Enix's first Crystal Cup, which is the road to nationals, leading everybody up to the North American National Championships. And this is our first event. It's super, super exciting. We're actually here with Square Enix. We're here with Kageyama-san. There's 100 players here, all vying to get the bid to be invited to going to the second North American National Championships. It's also one of the first events where, first big event, we're going to have Opus 5, right?
Yeah, there's been a couple of events around. I mean, there was an Ohio Petite Cup.
Yeah.
There was a Masters in Japan.
Right.
But this one is going to be the larger one.
It's
100 participants.
100 participants.
That's a good sample size.
Yeah, right. And a huge shout out to Square Enix for inviting us over here to host for you guys. We're really, really excited to be covering this event as well as other events, and we'll be making some Road to Nationals and Crystal Cup announcements at the end of our event today. So please stick around and keep watching. Let's talk about some of these Opus 5 cards. The first one we have up here is Grenade, right? And we've picked a few cards that we're hoping that we're going to see throughout the day, and this is one of the fire cards I'm really excited to see. So when a forward that your opponent comes in, if you have this monster on the board, if your opponent plays a forward that's 8,000 power or less, Grenade automatically triggers, and it just goes right to the opposing forward and blows up, dealing 8,000 damage. Talk to me a little bit about how you feel like these new type of, they're almost kind of like trap cards.
Correct.
Talk to me about what effect you're going to see, what you expect to see when a lot of these players play this, because aggro is a big thing right now, especially in where we're from, on the California side, and a lot of these smaller creatures are coming out, and then a lot of these creatures that come out that are anthems, they give other forwards
plus 1,000.
So yeah. How is this going to affect the play field?
So if you can kind of tell what your opponent is going to play, and usually you have a general idea about the way they play their backups or the first forward they play in their first turn,
right, then
you can decide to either, that's the beauty of this game, you technically have your sideboard built in. Anything you don't want to play that's of an element, that's as long as it's not light or dark, you can discard for CP. But if you know your opponent's going to play something aggressive and smaller forwards, Grenade is actually very efficient. You play it first, and then as soon as they play the first forward, they're going to just walk straight in. So they're going to have to wait to put some of their more strategy-dependent forwards, and they're going to have to waste another one.
Right,
first.
and it changes the pacing of the game. It changes the pacing of what your opponent wants to do and when they want to do it. If they see the grenade is already out, and if you guys can see the name here, you can actually have multiple grenades out. So, and they will all trigger on the first forward that comes out that's less than 8,000. So you know that if a forward comes out and it's less than 8,000, this is going to trigger dealing 8,000. So it's a pretty good shot that it's really going to just come in and trigger and blow something up and send it straight to the BreakZone.
Another thing is that it's actually very good at taking care of Ash, which we might run into a couple of those today. Opus 2 Ash.
Opus 2 Ash has gotten very, very strong in this with the new cards in Opus 5. And we'll go through some of these cards with you as we go through the event. Really excited to see a lot of these older cards actually being brought back into the meta, making them a lot stronger. And this Grenade, is one of those cards that I feel like it's just it's a rare. It's not something that's like a legendary. It's not super expensive, but a lot of these cards, they simply change the way your opponent plays, either pacing or whatnot. And I really think these type of cards are interesting to watch. Right?
So the way that these cards are going to work out, it's kind of how in Opus 4 the monsters change the meta. These monster trap cards, some of them are very, very efficient at dealing with certain opponent strategies. I mean, there's one of them that a Buckaboo was spoiled a while back.
And we'll take a look at that card too. Right.
There's a couple of them here and there. And depending on what you feel that the meta is going to be like, you can completely tech around it, build a strategy around it. And Grenade, if you expect Ash to be around, Grenade would definitely be a card that would consider if you're playing Fire and you expect Ash to be around.
So let's move on to our next card here. And I love this card. If you guys haven't seen this card, it's the Vermilion Bird, Lycee Zuyu. And let's take a quick look at this, because this card is amazing. So when Vermilion Bird attacks, he gains first strike right away. That's huge because it's a 9K body with first strike.
It's on curve.
It's on curve.
9K
with first strike, and it's really going to just, for the most part, that alone is going to go ahead and be able to deal with a lot of things. However, this is where I love this card because when the forward damage by Vermilion Bird is sent to the break zone, you can activate Vermilion Bird, and you can actually attack again. So imagine a 9K, and if you have LeBeau, a 10K first striking when attacks, and you're daring your opponent to block, right? And if they block, and he's first strike, he's gonna break them, and then he's gonna get an attack again. He can literally, if your opponent is at 6 points of damage and they have to block, he can literally just wipe the entire board and still get that last point of damage in.
So he's not exactly like Opus 1 Titus, the one that would go in and attack and stay brave the whole time. What's good about this one is that you don't have to worry about him taking damage for the most part, because if he wins combat with first strike, he took no damage.
He took no damage, and he's going to be able to activate and attack again.
Correct. So if your opponent is trying to stave himself off from taking that 7th point of damage, but he keeps putting smaller forwards out, thinking like, okay, I just need to put something out and I'll just be fine. If you're able to play this forward, and you can also give him haste by using one
just
fire CP.
One fire element CP. You can give him haste. The second he hits the board, he's a threat. And with all these aggressive decks coming in, decks like Chocobos, decks like standard units, I really feel like Fire has the tools necessary to really kind of even the playing field with one forward. This guy can wreck boards, and it's pretty cool to see. And we're hoping we're going to get a chance to see this as the event goes on today. Hopefully we'll be able to catch some players using it.
Yeah, if you played at the pre-release, this guy was one of your MVPs. If you actually got him, he was amazing. It was hard to deal with. I mean, a body that large, and the fact that you could give him haste and just go through chump blockers is pretty good. Right.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Orphan. All right, we know Ice has gotten a lot of strong cards this Opus. Let's talk a little bit about Orphan. We're expecting to see this card a lot today. So it's a 6-drop 9K, so it's a little bit under the curve. 6 drop, you expect something a lot. Power-wise, it's a little bit under the curve, but it's not really the power that is the main draw here. Because when Orphan enters the field, you can choose up to 2 opposing forwards, and you can dole them. Comes in and doles them.
Like Opus 3 Shiva.
Yeah, Opus 3 Shiva. Now, on top of that, if you're playing mono ice, and you control 5 or more ice characters, that's including backups, and they get frozen too. So it's a dole freeze on 2, which is huge, meaning that you've taken your opponent's 2 forwards out of the game, out of the combat phase for 2 turns. That's crazy. And on top of that, when Orphan attacks, you can choose an opponent forward and freeze it. So it works very well with cards that are already tempo based. Cards like Snow, cards like Opus 3 Shiva, anything that doles, pair this with Amon, and you could dole and then attack and freeze. It's a strong card. And Ice is not known for cards that actually have a big power boost. I believe one of the only other few 9K forwards is Opus 1 Kuja.
So they have Zeit now.
Oh, right. So talk to me about this card, man. How is this card going to drive Ice meta?
So one of the problems with Ice that you mentioned is that usually how large Ice forward is normally maybe a little bit off curve or on the smaller side.
Right.
But they have a lot of utility and they give you a lot of tempo. But with Orphan, you're able to probably finish off a board. You can use them as pretty much another copy of pretty much Shiva, O3 Shiva. Mm-hmm. And after that, still have a large body and still swing in and freeze every turn.
It's huge. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get ready to jump into round 1. We're going to continue reviewing and talking about Opus 5 cards throughout the day, so definitely stay tuned. Thanks again, you guys, for joining us here at the BreakZone. My name is JT.
And I'm Lawrence.
And huge shout out to Square Enix as we give you live coverage of the Boston Crystal Cup. And we'll be right back with round 1, so we'll catch you guys in just a little bit.
Lighting.
All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the BreakZone. My name is JT.
And I'm Lawrence.
And here we are. This is round one for Swiss, and here we have on our feature table Joe and Kevin. Joe is our actual national champion
from
last year. So you guys are going to get to see firsthand at some of top play here.
Yeah.
We're really excited to see these players. Once again, thank you for joining us here at the BreakZone, and thank you for tuning in here as we give you live coverage of the North American Crystal Cup here in Boston.
Yeah.
So what do you expect today?
Well, last time Joe really surprised everybody that was there by playing his, what was it, Mambo the Chocobo deck?
I love that deck, man.
It was
deck
heavy aggro. It just...
Yeah.
It really taxed your resources, a lot of discard, a lot of small forwards, and he just really made everybody follow his game plan.
Right, and it's really a start of the whole Chocobo aggro, and it's really exciting to see what he's going to play here. It looks like Joe's going to go ahead. Kevin's going to go ahead and start first.
Yep, discarding what looks like was it a Magus?
Right.
Yeah.
Looks like Joe's going to go ahead and pitch Odin and to play right into a red major.
Oh, that Odin already, huh?
Oh no, right? It's really sometimes you draw that 7-drop Odin. Looks like we're gonna go ahead and play that 1-drop summoner here on Kevin's end. Always sad to see that 7-drop Odin in your hand first turn, and it's difficult to pitch. It's gonna go ahead and pitch a Big Deal here and play right into Ilua. Wow, I love that card. Let's go ahead and bring that card up.
Ilua is making such a really big waves in the meta right now.
Into an Ilua on top of the damage zone for Kevin.
Ooh, he won't be able to reply with his own Ilua.
Exactly.
And let's see what's going to happen next. A second red mage, and that's how the aggro is going to begin. So normally Lightning's always had an issue kind of wondering about what forwards to play.
Right.
Because if you play Lightning, the Lightning Mirror...
Pitching the Adia into an Exodus. Wow. Okay.
Exodus the Ilua.
Yeah, just to get the Ilua. But let's talk a little bit about Ilua. I love this card. I love it. It comes in, it's got haste. The first time you try to target it, it just says no. It cancels that. And it's just really sticky, and we knew we were going to see a lot of this card. We knew it, coming into this match.
So, coming off of Opus 4, people really like the whole Nashu Hildebrand and being able to haste out a creature because forward, because what happens is that when playing against a lightning deck, you don't want to keep a forward active that can protect itself. Right. And here Ilua cannot not only protect herself, she has haste on top of that. So Alcid will not be a valid counter to Ilua being in play.
Right.
And the fact that his Ilua hit his opponent's Ilua actually really helped out.
Really helped out right there.
Correct.
It being haste, and not to mention it looks amazing as a foil card.
And he forced out an Exodus, which is not, you won't really say it's
and it's a really good thing. I mean, he's already gotten so much value out of this. He forced out an Exodus. He's already gotten one off the top. Wow, that's a lot of red mages Joe is running here. He's going to go ahead and pass his turn. And let's see how Kevin does. Looks like the board is pretty much even right now at 3 backups apiece. We're not seeing super hyper aggressive aggro coming from Joe, like he did last season. Wow, we're gonna go pitch an Alcid.
I think he's expecting Joe to play a lot of haste. Seeing that Joe pitched a Belias means that he's not really scared of either he really wanted the red mage out, or he has other ways to deal with the fact that he's playing against a lightning deck.
And pitching a Cyclops here. It's gonna go right into the Opus 4 Gilgamesh.
Oh, is it 3?
Opus 3 Gilgamesh, excuse me. And he's gonna give it haste and swing and another point of damage here.
There you go. So normally what happens is mono lightning, or like most lightning decks, like to kind of set up, take their time, and they're waiting to play their Alcid. But if your opponent is able to keep on hasting out, Alcid won't be as effective.
Alcid right there, it's not effective because Gilgamesh is dull. You're not going to be able to do an Alcid combo. That's really interesting. He's already pitched an Alcid. Right? Because he had no forwards on the board to target anything. Now he's going to go ahead and play an Alcid. He's not going to be able to finish that combo. He's just going to have to play right into a Zemus and pass the turn.
But Zemus, once Zemus is going to be able to use his ability, he is actually going to be able to play off a lot of tricks off that. But the fact that he has an Alcid in play already, you won't be able to pull Alcid because you can't have more than one unique character on the field at a time.
Exactly. Let's go ahead and bring up Zemus for our viewers to see, because it's a new Opus 5 card. Definitely an interesting card here.
Yeah, his ability to bring forwards back from the break zone back onto the field allows you to play combos such as bringing back Alcid, playing a card off of your from your hand for free.
Because sometimes,
well, not for free, but you pay 4 to play the Alcid.
And sometimes you need a Rigdia or an Onion Knight to finish your combo, so that Zemus kind of edges that out, kind of smooths out your draw right there. So he's going to go ahead and play the Alcid on the Zemus and a Rigdia just to ping on the
Zemus.
He kills the Zemus with the Alcid.
And the Rigdia trigger, he will pick to Dole Alcid, and then attack with Gilgamesh.
Wow. That is just a lot of tempo coming over from Joe's end. He has full control of the board right now.
He does. He's off by 1 backup, but having 2 more forwards on his opponent in play.
Exactly.
And the fact that Gilgamesh is larger than Alcid.
Larger than Alcid. You're just going to keep pressuring with that Gilgamesh, and it's really going to cause Kevin to either answer or hopefully do something to
be able to stabilize.
Right. And then with Lightning, the problem is once you play an Alcid, you want to be able to continue. Oh, well, he's going to go ahead and play the idea. Looks like he's going to go ahead and crack that Gilgamesh. That's really going to help him right there. That idea is really going to help him stabilize the board, because that Gilgamesh was just going to keep pressuring. We already saw an idea go be pitched earlier, so we know that Kevin only has maybe at most 1 more. Plays into another red mage. He's going to go ahead and crack that idea right there. Wow, Joe is just really putting in a lot of pressure here. Let's see what he's going to do. I'm assuming he's going to go ahead and try to get rid of that Alcid right now. Get another 2 points of damage in. Oh, here's another Gilgamesh. Is he going to press the attack here?
That's a good question, because at this point you're staring down at Alcid. Yes, you can trade Alcid.
I would definitely attack.
But then also your opponent would be able to...
Alcid again, right.
Yes, correct. He now has the option to.
But he's going to go ahead and get that point of damage. He's going to give haste over to Gilgamesh. And another point of damage. No EX there. Is Rigdia going to come in, or is he going to go ahead and pass his turn? And looks like he's going to go ahead and pass his turn. He's going to go ahead and do his 4th point of damage here. It looks like Joe is coming out hot and heavy. I like his play right now. It's aggressive, right? But it's not over extending aggressive.
Yes, he's playing very effectively.
He's playing effectively.
Every single one of his resources so far seems to have been on point.
On point, yes, exactly. He's very calculated with his use of backups. I like that. And his timing on his Alcids were on point. He only has another Alcid to deal with on Kevin's side because he's already pitched one and played another. So, a lot of these tricks that Mono Lightning has, he's kind of already dealing with. Kevin goes ahead and plays right into another 1-drop summoner here, and he's going to go and pass his turn. He's looking at 2 points of damage on the board unless
he doesn't haste out, and he can.
Exactly, he can
with
haste out.
Two lightning red mages out, you can haste out whatever you play.
Right, and then I love the way Joe's playing this red mage deck. He's got the fire red mage, and you can't block. Oh, let's see what he does here. Wow. And he's going to go ahead and raid him.
Okay.
He's going to go ahead and break one and remove another from the game.
So that's definitely going to help him stabilize the board, but he now has no
hand. Exactly.
Correct.
That was a last-ditch effort, and we're looking at Joe, who has...
He has 4 backups. He's up by 1, but his hand is much more.
He's got 3 cards in his hand, so let's see if Joe continues to be effective here. He's going to go ahead and fill out his backup line here with what looks like an army of red mages. Every single one. And Joe has an opportunity here to catch up. They're both at 2 cards, both at 5 backups. Looks like he's going to go ahead and try to play something really large. He's going to take a look at all the red mages that are staring down at him.
So this is going to be kind of difficult. I wouldn't really want to be in Kevin's situation because now he has to be... Technically he's in top deck mode.
He is in top
had
deck
no
mode.
hand. He just drew 2 cards. So whatever he drew is the best answer he can put out. He has only
Correct.
one of 2 choices if they're both forwards. While Joe, whatever he gets from whatever other forward he's going to draw in the next in his hand, he's going to be able to haste it out.
Right. He's going to go ahead and get a quick point of damage here with a Zemus haste with the red mage. So that goes ahead and brings him up to a point of damage. No help from the EX burst on Joe's end. Did pull a Sabin off, which would be disastrous right now for Kevin to deal with. But he's got that Zemus out. It's still an AK body. Funny, there's no anthems on the board. He's going to go ahead and pitch that Odin.
He's going to Phoenix.
He's going to go ahead and play Phoenix.
Bringing back Ilua.
Wow.
Killing the Zemus and going in for a point of damage. Oh, no, actually, Ilua comes in dull.
Let's go ahead and take a look at that Phoenix. It's a new Opus 5 card. I dig that card. It's very, very cool.
There's a lot of combos that you can pull off with it. So what happens is that you play Phoenix, and you're able to target a forward, deal it 8,000 damage, and pull a forward from your break zone into play dull. Of cost 3 or less, and doesn't specify which element it is, so you could definitely play multicolored decks and use it that way.
Alright, it looks like Alua's going to come right back in and start getting back to work here for Joe.
But I'm really surprised that both of these lightning decks have not flipped a EX actually on damage.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, Lightning has EX Odins and whatnot, but it looks like Joe drew into his Odins right in the beginning.
Drew 1 Odin, and I think he also pitched a Cyclops earlier on.
Right. I like the way he's playing. He's not overextending. He's keeping cards in his hand. He's keeping his backups ready, because what he looks like he's going to do is he's going to drop some forwards, give it haste, and swing.
Correct.
I think he's looking at Fatal already on the board. If he gets another forward out and Kevin doesn't have any answer, then it's going to go straight into haste with the red mage, and boom, boom. It's going to be 2 points of damage right there. It's going to go and play that dragon.
Ooh,
that dragon is not going to help him. That Ilua is going to just laugh that dragon off.
Correct. The Ilua is strong in so many ways, and definitely against the Lightning Mirror, Ilua is going to make your opponent spend a lot of resources.
Especially with the Alcid Lightning Mirror. You spend a lot of resources getting rid of that Ilua. Let's see what Joe's going to do here. Is he going to press the attack here? He's going to go and play it into Sabin. Sabin, you might want to break him now.
No, he can give himself the ability, and actually, Kevin can reply by breaking him with Dragon while the ability's on the stack.
Yes, he can't reply to Joe playing Sabin, but he can reply to Sabin being announced as an attacker, and his ability being put on the stack that he cannot be broken.
When he enters play, actually, he's able to choose a forward to protect.
Right.
And in this case, while that ability is still on the stack, he's
going to go ahead and respond to it.
Crack the dragon and break it.
Right. He's going to go ahead and swing with that Ilua. That dragon saved him the game, I believe. I believe he's going to go ahead and swing.
Let's see. He looks like he's going to use one of his backups in order to deal. Wait.
Nope.
Oh, that wasn't enough though.
Nope, it was not. No. And he's going to do 6 points of damage right there. He's going to go ahead and pitch up, and that's it.
He used Ilua special ability to give Onion Knight haste and finish the game that way.
And that's it. And here we go in the first round here. We have Joe, our reigning national champion, taking down Kevin here. It's a very cool deck. What did you think of it?
It wasn't just fast and efficient aggro. He played it perfectly.
Right.
It seemed like he drew every answer he needed. He did not waste CP and resources in order to do anything. You look at Kevin, on the other hand, he had to play Exodus, which was a 4-cost summon in order to break a 3-cost forward.
Right.
But it was definitely more efficient than having to play 2 spells or use 2 abilities in order to trigger and nullify the first trigger of Ilua's ability to protect herself, and having to use another card or another ability in order to actually break her.
Right. That Ilua is just so strong, and as we move forward towards more established Opus 5 metas, we knew right off the bat that Alua is going to be crazy awesome. Really hard to get rid of, as you see, especially against a Lightning matchup, because that Alua is going to laugh at Dragon. That Alua is going to go ahead and laugh off the Alcids. It's going to laugh off a lot of these things where you can't, like, the Alua would laugh off the Idea.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to, it's going to get through so much insta-break that Lightning has accessible that usually would be so tempo-wise, but that Alua just stops everything, and It's got haste.
So, looking at the matchup and looking at what Kevin had to do, Exodus was probably the most efficient way he had to break Ilua.
Exactly.
Because otherwise he'd have to use 2 cards instead of just 1.
Right.
Since Exodus doesn't target, he was able to do that. And he also did not have a board at the time, so he did not worry about his opponent Joe choosing another number and breaking his own board afterwards.
Exactly. And the Alua just drawing out an Exodus is already benefit. Because the Alua is a 3-drop. It's not like it's really expensive.
So normally you want Exodus to kind of save you from multiple 4s. You want them to play out, let's say, multiple 3-drops, 4-drops, and then you use 1 card and you take out 2.
Exactly. And another thing I'd like to comment on Joe's playstyle is he's very calculated. He played everything with intention, with purpose. It seems like he was already a couple steps ahead, thinking about how he's going to play, holding back when he needed to hold back, and then really just adding constant aggression. He didn't need to win right away, but he set his backup line. He gave himself more outs. I love that. I think that's really, really critical when you're competing, that you don't overextend in the aggression.
Correct.
Right.
So one of the worst nightmares for aggro is your opponent stabilizes.
Right.
And I'll say that Joe did not overplay his hand.
Yep.
He played correctly. He set out backups when he could.
Right.
And each of them played actually pretty efficiently. So
I thought both players played very efficiently. It was just a matter of who got the Alua out first. And that Alua doing the damage, getting the other Alua out, oh man, that one hurt.
Your heart drops.
Right, because we know Kevin's running Zemus. He can pull these back. Mm-hmm. He can get them back, and it's fine. But getting into the damage zone where you can't touch it, it hurts. It's just one less card that you don't work on.
And there was no EX burst, so this was 100% skill.
Right.
None of it, I mean, as much as some people like certain cards to be put in their deck in order to not only use the card effectively, but also hoping that sometimes you get it to play it for free with EX Burst.
Right, and we know one of the players, Arvin Bernardo from California, plays a very heavy EX Burst deck.
Like 25, like half his deck is EX
Burst.
Right,
and it's awesome, and excuse me, and it works. It really changes the tempo. But here we saw Joe use red mages so effectively, and all of them. It's just a different approach. I like it. He's got the haste, he's got the you can't block, he's got the damage red mages. I mean, that's a good deck. It's awesome.
That looks like a great deck.
Yeah.
It's definitely ready to take on any kind of mono lightning.
Right.
And you could just see it that Kevin it was not a great matchup for him because he had to start pitching Alcids. He played an Alcid.
Yeah, exactly.
And
the problem with mono lightning is it's so reactive, right? If your opponent doesn't have forwards or their forwards are dull, you don't really want to play that Alcid because it's a 4-drop for, what is it, 6K?
6K.
So it's way under curve. You really want to get that extra value by playing the additional card afterwards.
That's the whole point of the Alcid.
Right.
It's a whole tempo swing where your opponent opponent thought, haha, I'm going to start setting up my forwards to start attacking you next turn. But after that, you drop an Alcid. It's like, well, now you thought you were going to get one guy, I got 2, and yours is gone.
And the way that this matchup worked out with Alua is that he completely negated Kevin's ability to do that, to swing the favor of the board back into his favor.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a great matchup. We're glad you guys are joining us here at the BreakZone as we give you live coverage of the Crystal Cup here in Boston. We hope to bring you some more awesome matches like that. Please stay tuned. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break before round 2 starts. So stick tuned. We'll be right back with round 2, and we'll catch you guys in just a little bit.